Welcome to the We-On-Loc Nation channel. And I just want to do a little short segment on the Sinners movie. Just a little review. If you have not seen it, go ahead to the movie theaters and go see it before I start giving out spoilers. So, me going to see a horror film is pretty much like I don't know. I don't like horror films too much. I mean, I grew up on the Freddy Krueger. Excuse me. I grew up on the Freddy Kruegers, the Jasons, the Candymans of the world, the Bloody Marys, the Evil Deads. I've watched all those movies, and quite frankly, I've gotten nightmares before. But I've also watched vampire movies. I've watched every Count Dracula, um, Monster Squad. I've watched pretty much. Oh, The Lost Boys. The Lost Boys was my favorite. Lost Boys was my favorite because it had the Corey boys, the Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. May Corey Heyman rest in peace. I was into those type of movies, and it kind of excited me to see this flick because it was added all in one. Let's just forget the parts about Dusk Till Dawn, because not taking anything away from Quentin Tarantino. I've watched Quentin Tarantino's movies also. I like Quentin Tarantino, other than the fact that he used the word nigga every now and then. Despite all that, Samuel Jackson likes him. If Samuel Jackson likes you, then hell, I mean, you're good in his book. But this was, to me, it was something different. To me, it was more like telling a real Mississippi tale, even though I wasn't born and raised in Mississippi. Most of my mom's parents were born in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Like it was telling sort of like a ghost town story. And when it got into it, it was a very Jim Crowish. It was almost like a slave movie at first. But when it got into it, it got into all the other favors that apparently you don't see. But when Quentin Tarantino, he brought out Dusk Till Dawn based on the two brothers, the two white brothers who were criminals and murderers or whatever. They were trying to hide in this hick town or whatever. And then apparently they got a real large dose of their own evil medicine. So they literally had to survive the whole entire night until dawn. That's why they call it Dusk Till Dawn. And then they found out that the so-called safe haven that they were in was really a safe haven for vampires. And it was like a vampire type like dungeon. In this particular case, it had something to do with being in a surviving one night, because we were in the cotton fields for so long. Just for those particular hours, we were free. That's what it meant to me. For those particular hours, jiving, as the old folks would say, jiving and raving, in your drawers and your dress and sweating until you stank, type like that southern accent, that southern feeling. I got a little bit of that southern in me myself. Like I said, my mama was born in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? But this movie, it 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 made me laugh. It made me cry. It made me have all these emotions, and of course, it had me wanting to kill all these freaking crackers. You know how? Yeah, I don't. Let me just state for the fact that I don't hate white people. I love my people very much. I just used to understand assholes. That's all. Um, Apparently there were very evil people in the South. I mean, we all know what it is: Jim Crow segregation, Dred Scott, all those things, right? For every time a black man builds something for himself, it was always, always, always turned down. Now, when it comes to uh, it, it was what was it called? Ming Bayou, Mississippi. I mean, forgive me if I don't know the towns. That's why I said I had to watch it again, and I plan on watching it again tonight. I plan on it. I plan on watching it again tonight. But you give why you gotta watch it again? Why you gotta watch it again? Because I want to. And this movie to me is good for kids in a historical sense, but every other thing like sexual content, everything, bad language, everything is connected into this movie. So I would rather wait until it comes out on video, it comes out on DVD, or it comes on a stream to, and I would edit it all the parts out. You know what I mean? Just like when in my church, when we went to go watch, at least in my opinion, I thought we was going to watch Endgame. They edited the hell out of Avengers Endgame, my church. So I would assume that if we were going to go watch this movie, it was going to be a whole lot of editing. So it wouldn't be worth it. And it teaches you segregation. It also teaches you in the vampire sense what it meant at that particular time, which don't worry, I'll be getting to spoilers in a minute. At that particular time, what it meant for a vampire, sucking your blood, and of course I'll just say this. Once this, in my view, I mean, when Vampire in Brooklyn came out, when the Eddie's character, Eddie Murphy's character, when he bit homeboy, Kadeem Hardison's character. Anybody who has not seen Vampire in Brooklyn, go ahead and rent it, buy it, whatever. When he got bit, he turned into a goblin, a ghoul, or whatever. When you bite a woman, I guess the variances of it, you bite a man, he turns into your servant. You bite a woman, she turns into your bride. But with all the, the vampiro traits of being a vampire versus a man that is supposed to be your ghoul. I guess that in different vampire movies they have their own takes on it, right? So I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. When I watched this movie, it had every single bit of what, and I was surprised because the two main stars in this movie are Sammy, to me, other than Michael B. Jordan, because Michael B. Jordan was great, as the Stack twins, Smoke and Stack. The voodoo lady is Sammy. Sammy made me want to hurl something at that damn screen. He made the way he sung, the way he revealed he unrevealed time and space, and he went back into the past. Give me a second. Lady in Sinners. Oops. Because I need, like I said, I need to go see that damn thing again. Oh, it was Annie. Oh, it was Annie. It was Annie. So Annie and Mary. Annie Mary. Annie Mary. Annie Mary. I'm switching it. Sorry. She played Hindu I can't even pronounce that. It's a beautiful African name, though. It's a very beautiful African name. So, in about another minute, hello, y'all. In about another minute, it's going to be spoiler time. I might be. I'm good at these things. See, this is the reason why. If it's a movie that you enjoy, if you really enjoy it, you have to see it twice. You have to see this damn thing twice, because to me, this thing was a masterpiece under Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler is the director of Creed and Black Panther. Both movies I have, both movies I enjoyed. This movie, like I said, it had all types of emotions in it. Okay. If you have not seen this movie, I suggest you get out and let me start this timer. I suggest you get out now. Okay, you've been warned. All right. So the movie starts out. The introduction. We have to go to the introduction. Not a lot of people like to go to the introduction. It's like reading a book. And when you read that book, you're supposed to read from the pre-writing all the way down to the introduction. The introduction, the pre-read, whatever the case may be, because there's some things that you may miss. There's some things that highlights what you're going to be reading. In this movie, the introduction highlights what you're going to be watching, especially with Sammy's character. Sammy's character is going to reveal later on in the movie, or is going to unlock spirits. He's going to unlock the spirits of the past. I call it's a very spiritual movie to me. Part of it is spiritual. So It all starts out with Sammy uh, going to the church, not realizing when I watched it, it the basically the ending tells you the beginning. So it goes into the ending part where Sammy returns to the church, and his father, everybody's dressed in all white. His father looks at him and sees the horror that is going on in his son's, especially in his son's face, because he has vampire marks on his face. He didn't get bit, don't worry. He goes up, he runs up to Sammy, and his father says, "I want you to dedicate yourself to God. I want you to dedicate yourself. I want you to right now to acknowledge that you're going to dedicate yourself to God," paraphrasing. But you got to put that guitar down. It was a half broken guitar, and he was struggling. Sammy was shaking, and things were revealing in the back, flashing before his very eyes of what happened and what he released onto the earth. And then, of course, he takes the guitar and he rides off into the sunset. Then it jumps from that to the beginnings. It was a Jim Crow segregation when he was working in the fields. He was picking cotton, working in the fields, picking cotton, pretty much like every other black folk that is in Mississippi at that particular time. And it was a terrible time. I remember my grandmother telling me she used to do stuff like that. And he goes and he washes up. He wakes the kids up, goes to the shack, wakes the kids up, goes underneath his bed, notice that his guitar's missing. So he goes up to the church and he sees that the guitar is by his father's side. It was just sitting there. And he looked and he said, "Yeah, I took your guitar." And he said, "Come over," the father. He says, "Come over here, boy. Come over here and read this sermon." And I forgot what chapter, what verse it was. Please forgive me. And he read it through, and as he read it through, he slams the Bible, he slams the book shut, and he's still continuing on with the verse. And he grabs his guitar and he's about to head out, because at that time the Smokestack twins, Smoke and Stack, played by the great, soon to be great, Michael B. Jordan, was heading out there. Now, Michael B. Jordan wasn't really supposed to be playing two twins. It was supposed to be the boy that played in Creed 3. I forgot what the brother's name was. It's John somebody. I forgot who it was. But anyway, they're waiting on him. They're waiting on his cousin. The father didn't quite like it. He's like, "What you gonna do? You gonna jive and play all type of sinful music to all a bunch of heathens and sinful people?" And he was expressing to his father, I worked in the fields 24/7. It's about high time for me to go out there and see what's out there for me." And before he left, his father gave him the one thing that could creep out anybody. I know when my grandmother said we're living in the last days. I'm 5 years old. I don't know what that means. I'm like, why we gotta live in our last days, Grandma? Your grandma's, the grandma's Southern, she'll tell you anything. But little later on, it kind of sticks to you. So he said, and I quote, if you play with the devil long enough, eventually the devil's gonna follow you home. So he gets out and he jumps in the car with the Smokestack twins and they head on down to Jessup or whatever that town was. And so they head down there. Before all that, the Smokestack twins were buying out this old barnyard, and turning it into a juke joint. And they were waiting on this guy that they were buying it from, and knowing the boys being from the military, the boys being military minded because came from World War I, and they were very military minded. That this white man, this jolly fat white man, came up, and they basically went inside. He opened up the doors, went inside, and they asked a whole bunch of questions, basically buying the joint. And the guy and one of the twins, Smoke was very serious versus Stack, who is kind of like a free flowing minded person, even though they've been in war. So he kind of tells the person, even though they didn't know they were being set up, he gives the person the money and they go pick up their cousin. Now, when they go pick up the cousin, they ride in the car with their cousin, and they go pick up some booze. Now, they go pick up the truck, and then the truck is filled full of booze that they basically bought. But before that, they uncover the stuff. Sammy sees this leaf, and this big ass leaf or whatever. He uncovers it, and out comes a rattle. Now the rattle has red glowing eyes, and it's getting ready to fire off. Now, if you have not seen the movie, and this is very important to this is a very important scene, even though they basically kill the snake or whatever. That snake was the devil himself. Remember, this is a spirit. This is partially this is segregation, vampirism, but it's also a very spiritual movie. A very spiritual movie. So they kill the snake, and then they go and plan out. They plan out the party. At first, Smoke was against it. Stack was pretty much the full speed ahead. They was gonna open it up, and they was gonna have a good time. So Smoke was gonna have to go into town and get a couple of signs and get some stuff ready for the club. As Smoke goes into the town's very segregated. You got blacks on one side, you got Asians in the other. Smoke goes to, and also I do like the part where he signals the girl to go wash the truck, and he said, "I'll pay you 10 cents for every hour that you're washing the truck." And she said, "Sure." He says, "Nah, that's not acceptable. You had to learn how to negotiate." And I got it, right? I got it. And and is education in this movie too. So there's what a boxer. I heard y'all critiquing it last night. It was pretty good. Pretty good. If you want to come up, bro, you can. Because I heard y'all talking about it last night, and it was pretty good. Pretty goddamn good. But like I said, not only did this movie have education, it had spirituality in it. It had a lesson in it too. And it also has segregation and racism. All in one. Ryan Coogler is pretty much a genius. So they're in the town. He buys the signs and he buys supplies and he buys he gets the food and everything. And of course the horn honks and Smoke run to the truck, finds out there's these two black dudes trying to steal from his truck, and he shoots him square dead. He shoots one in the ass. He shoots one in the ass, and he shoots the other one in the leg. So they both survive. So they get the stuff ready for the night, going straight to the juke joint because, of course, we can go to the Choctaw. We can go to the Choctaw, and we can go to the vampiro person, the main vampire in this movie, named Remick. Remick is a Irishman that runs to the door because he was being set on fire. He's just torn. His flesh is just torn apart and smoking. So he knocks on these people's doors, these racist people's doors, and they're waiting for him with shotguns. He said, "Can you please let me in? Please let me in." And if anybody knows that you don't let vampires in unless you invite them in, everybody knows that. And so he's talking, and he's pull out gold. He's have in his hand, the vampire, Remick, has in his hand some gold that he gives to the peoples. He's like, the Choctaws are coming, the Choctaws are coming. So, of course, they let him in. And these Indians are actually ones like, I know, we know you got them in the house, so just please, just let them out. And the sun's going, as they're talking, the sun is going down, and it's like, you know what, y'all. So they turn right around and they head out of town. Next thing you know, the lady goes upstairs. It's quiet, it's dark. Remick has blood drooling and dripping all down. It's basically the husband got bit, and then the husband, after a few minutes, stands up and says, "Eyes are free," and then she gets bit. So going on to the joint, I'm just gonna skip through certain parts. So they go on to the joint, they set up, they're having a good time. Now, like I said, Smoke is very quiet, but very business minded. Of course, Stack is very business minded too, but he's very free flowing and everything else. Oh, I almost forgot. Of course, Stack and Sammy head down to the train station to pick up the piano player played by Archie Manning. I forgot the brother's name, Philando or somebody. That's one reason why I gotta see this movie twice. It was just my rip. If you haven't seen Malcolm X, this brother plays a pretty good role. So they pick up the piano player and remind everybody that the juke joint is going to be opening up. It's going to be catfish. It's going to be catfish, fruit, and drink until you drink and dance until you stank and all this other. And of course, Stack runs into an old flame played by Mary. I think her name is Mary. Mary, well, and of course, in them days, you're not supposed to be caught gawking at a white woman. This is 1939, so call it what you will. You weren't supposed to be gawking at a white woman. I don't even know why a black man in those days was gawking at white women anyway, if that were the case. But anyway, so they hash old flames, and she walks off. And Sammy, mind you, Sammy and the piano player are going to be setting this thing off. But like I said, the main characters in this movie, Annie and Sammy, are your main superheroes. I will tell you why in a little bit. Smoke goes on to see an old flame that they had a kid. The kid passed away. It's a sad thing. And so they went to see each other, and Smoke goes to ask Annie, which is she does the whole hoodoo thing. Hoodoo is different from voodoo. Don't ask. I ain't gonna tell you. Because my cousin practices hoodoo. Whatever. I don't mess with shit like that. Uh, he goes to ask her if she can do the. We got the food. Could she do the cooking? And she asked a very important question. Do you still have that bag that I gave you? The hoodoo bag that basically is protecting him. And he said, yeah. And she said some prayers on it. And of course, they had the love making scene. The love making scene was very, very beautiful. Now, you got these cats. What up, everybody? You got these cats that these movie critics that will basically tell you, oh, she's too fat. Oh, she too big boned. Oh, why can't it be somebody skinnier? Shut the hell all the way the hell up. I would have been fucking that woman in that movie all up and down and up into daylight. Fuck the juke joint. We would have been fucking that night. Anyway, Kale. She was in Deadpool. She was in Deadpool Wolverine. And she looked good then. She just needed to take off that fucking wig that they put on her. But anyway, it was a very emotional scene, and they did the do. So on to the juke joint. So everything's set up, and everybody's having a good time. Oh, I almost forgot. Stack goes into the fields and picks up cornbread. Everybody love cornbread. They pick up cornbread for security. So they pick up cornbread, they pick up the booze, pick up the food, have the sign, put the sign up on the farmyard or whatever, juke joint, whatever. And then the night starts. Sammy, oh my Lord. Sammy. If you ever played the blues in your life, listen, everything from not Danny Hathaway. Danny Hathaway is soul, not blues, because forgive me. So the Billie Holidays of the world, and the Sam Cookes of the world, God bless them all. I've played the blues, I've heard the blues for most of my life. And yes, Tito Santana is the blues. Y'all need to stop hating on some of these Mexicans. Y'all need to stop hating on this Mexican. Tito Santana plays that guitar like any other freaking blues player. Anyway, I'm ranting. So when Sammy cracks that guitar and plays that string and starts humming, for those who don't know, when you start humming like that, that's giving code to. What was it giving code to? It was giving Carlos. My bad, Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. Shut up. You think you know everything. Anyway, Carlos Santana, which I did see him in the House of Blues in Las Vegas. He still got it. But anyway, when Sammy hit that note, and you have to go see this movie. Once it starts off beautifully. And everybody's paying attention to him. And this is where the part where I say where it's spiritual. Because at that moment, when he's unlocking time and space, when he's unlocking spiritually all these other ethnicities in the past, from rock and roll artists to rap artists, DJs, from the 80s to the 90s to people breakdancing, twerking, even though twerking is an African ritual, African dance, excuse me. And he also reveals Indians. He also reveals Asian rituals. He's unlocking everything. His voice carries out so much that spiritually the juke joint burns down and everybody is still dancing. It revealed the good things about what music is all about, but it also revealed the bad things. You got to take the good and the bad with everything. It caught the attention of the vampires, even the vampires in this movie. The vampires come up to the juke joint and say, we were here in the party and we was wondering if we could be let in. It was like, hold up. It was like, go get the twins. And so the twins pull up and I was like, what's up? What's happening? It's like, we can't let y'all. We can't let y'all in. Y'all can play that music, down the road somewhere. And they wouldn't let them in. But you know how Stack is. Stack's the free thinker. They got money. They got some money, smoke. And it's like, not all money is good money, basically. And it's like, do not let them people in because I do not. No. And then of course the flame the old flame of Stacks comes in and they have a little, going down memory lane. And it's like, I don't even want to get into all that because I cringe every time. But people say that she's half black. Mary, the person I forgot who played that, who played Mary. The person who played Mary, who had a love interest. Now, mind you, she's married. She's married in this movie. I mean, let's just get this out the way. They go in and they have sex later. They go in and they have sex later on in the movie, and of course he gets bit. Sammy, when he's playing this guitar, the person that they picked up at the train station, this chocolate sister, I forgot what her name is. They picked up and she's married. And she comes in and she's part of the juke joint. She starts singing and whatever. And everybody, like I said, everybody's drinking and having a good time and playing cards and whatever, not knowing that this night is going to get ugly. So my favorite part of the scene, of course, the sex scenes. Sex scenes are always my favorite part. Sex scenes are always my favorite part of the movie. It is because of course, come on, you're free that night. In a town full of segregated, evil, racist, bigotry time that they were living in. I mean, you had to let loose. You had to. So, I mean, Sammy, he was playing good too, and even though he was a PK preacher's kid, and even though he was a PK, I mean, he had to let loose. So he went up there and he, told the girl, like, "Listen, I like you. I just want to taste you." And she said, "I'm up. I gotta fashion up." He said, "Fuck that." And he went to town on. And Stack went up and knocked on the door. I was like, who the heck? who the hell is this? We got the bulls up in there. Like, open up this door. And he hears her moaning and groaning in there. And Stack starts smiling. It's like, yeah, he hit that spot. He told the Asian woman that they picked up from the store, is like, go ahead and watch that dough for me. So now let's go to the part where everything goes haywire. Now, mind you, Smoke summoned Sammy, and he was, basically saying, you play pretty good music, but I'm paraphrasing because I think Smoke was sensing that he was going down the wrong path. And it's like, maybe you should just listen to what your father is implicating, because you could be going down the wrong. I don't want you to do what I did, which was basically he revealed that he killed his father to protect his twin. And because he was beating up, the father was beating up Stack pretty bad. And in order to save his life, he had to do what he had to do. I wouldn't recommend anybody killing anybody's father. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't recommend anybody do that. I mean, if it's avoidable, but that's touchy. Don't worry. I never murdered my father, but I'm just saying stuff like that is kind of touchy. So, and he basically warned that boy. He's like, this is your last night playing for us. And Sammy had a cold, like, yo, you don't tell me what to do. It's like, you might as well just kill me right now. And he pulled out, and Smoke pulled out his gun. It's like, you forget, they're from World War I, and he's not suffering from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, or what I call it, the smaller version, shell shock. You don't tell nobody who has been in the military, who has been fighting for his life, to kill it. He will shoot that. He will shoot that command. He's not Stack. Stack is negotiable. Smoke, not so much. But luckily, you the cousin. So he let him off. He let him off. I was like, thank God. I was like, do not kill him. It was like that's your blood now. They said blood is thicker than water. So he goes back downstairs, and Smoke asks him, he's like, listen, where's Stack? I need Stack for this. Like, go get Stack real quick. And he opens up the door. He thought that Stack was handling business with Mary. So he slams back the door, and he said, where's Smoke? Or where's Stack? Stack's in the room. It was like, he's kind of like handling business. So in a fit of rage, he looks on. Cornbread, who was supposed to be security, is not there. He out there taking a dump or whatever. And it was like, it's taking him a long time to come back. Mind you, the vampires are out there. So he goes into the shed to go get Stack. He opens up the door. Stack's bleeding. He has his lung punctured, which means the vampire punctured her lung. Now, mind you, in that, she starts drooling. Before all that, she starts drooling, and that means she's infected or whatever. She bites Stack. Stack's bleeding, and Mary gets popped by Smoke, but then Mary pops right back up and said, we gonna kill all of you, and hightails out of there. Spiritually, Stack is dead. Now, if you've seen any vampire movie, you have seconds before he or she turns. He left them in there. It's like Annie comes in there, finds Stack on the floor, bleeding to death. He's like, he put some of that hoodoo on him. Is like, I can't do it. It's not gonna work. Because if it didn't work for their child, why would it work? Why would it work for Stack? So he's in there dead, and so they go in, and the next thing you know, Cornbread returns. Cornbread returns, but some fishy. Y'all seen like little clips. Y'all seen the clips, so I don't have to really explain all of it. Basically, come on, let me in. I gotta go back in there now, and blah 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 blah. I was like, why? You can just walk on in anytime you want. Everybody was suspicious, and he's like, okay. And so he's talking all this shit while he's outside looking in, and he's like, well, if you're not gonna let me back in, at least give me my money. And so he reaches into his pocket, tries to give him his money, and of course everybody's seen it. He turns vampire-ish, tries to bite Smoke. Smoke shoots him in the face, and he falls down. They both fall down. He's looking. Cornbread is basically a zombie at this point. And so they get back in the barn and it's like, I'm not bit, I'm not bit, I'm not bit, everything is all right. And then they hear a knock at the shed. It was like, anybody there? Why is the shed locked? It was Stack. Stack's not spiritually there anymore. It's a whole entirely different person. And Smoke goes to check on him and it's like, is that you? And it's like, yeah, fool, it's me. Now open up. And it's like, something wrong. Something is wrong with it. He gets upset. He gets mad. And Sammy goes to peek through the door. The door slams down. Stack is free. Annie throws some holy pickled water at his face. His face is smoking. They leave. He leaves. Scats up out of there. Now, of course, I'm not going to go into the other parts of it because it's too long. And they're all this there just preparing for the worst. Outside of it, all these vampires, including the Chinese person, the Chinese husband goes out there and is like, we can't stay here for this. We gonna get the car, we gonna bail up out of there. Smoke and Stack can handle all this stuff, even though he didn't realize Stack is basically dead. So he goes out and gets the car. We all know what happens. Then the head vampire goes up to the door and he's revealing a whole bunch of stuff. Needless to say, when they bite you, they take away, they're taking in your memories, they're taking in everything. They're taking in your soul. They're just taking in your soul. And when they take in your soul, they have every memory of when you was a little child, or when you was fucking up, or when you was. They have everything. It's basically like a memory card. You remember like one of those memory cards from the first Nintendo? They have a memory card. And so he was speaking Cantonese to the wife, the head vampire. And of course, Stack and Mary were out there, and is everything is good, bruh. Why don't you come on? Why don't you come and let us in? It's like the clan gonna be here till sunrise. They gonna fuck you up worse than we gonna fuck you up. And Riddick is kind of like telling the truth, even though he's a bad guy. The bad guy is trying to give them an out, but Annie is the hero in my book because she will not let Smoke fall for the okie doke. So they all close the door. They all prepare for the worst. And she reminds him. She reminds Smoke. It's like, if I get bit, hit me with that stake in my heart so I can go to the other side. Before I turn, hit me with a stake in the heart so I go to the other side, because I have somebody that I want to see. We all know it's the child, which is very sad. It was a very sad scene when I watched it. Fast forwarding, when basically Smoke kills all the skinheads, the skinhead, not the skinheads, but the clan, and he gets shot, and he wants to take that last little smoke, and he looks to his right and he sees Annie and the child. It's a very touchy scene. I cried in it because when the baby was there, the baby didn't get a chance to live, y'all. The baby did not get a chance to live. Going back to the whatever. So basically, all in a nutshell, doors finally swing open because the Asian lady who was preparing the food, helping preparing the stuff, preparing the food, she has enough because Remick reveals that we gonna go see your daughter, and she starts. I was like, oh hell no, not my daughter, not my daughter, not my daughter, and she gets the cocktail, set them bitches on fire, and getting ready for war. And so they're getting ready, even though they're overwhelmed by vampires. Even though the husband is already turned, she is ready for war. Um, she and the doors swing open. It's time. It's time for war, and of course, Smoke is the only person capable of doing anything remotely to these vampires because he's been through war. The rest of them, the Asian lady goes out in a blaze of glory. And it's like, oh my God, she didn't do anything but stab one vampire. Hey, it was enough. And it's like, you may be stronger than me, you may be a little faster than me, but I'm taking your ass out. So she goes out in a blaze of glory, stabs the vampire in the heart, even though she's getting flamed up. They're all getting flamed. She throws flame cocktails, starts shooting guns, starts shooting. The bullets don't do anything, although they just slow them down. You gotta stab them in the heart, or you gotta throw holy water at them, or whatever. So it was all out war, and of course Annie gets bit. So sorry, Annie gets bit by Stack, and they're fighting over her, and Smoke goes up to Annie, a bitten, defeated Annie, and she says, "You know what you need to do." She stabs her. Now, this is kind of funny. Mary and Stack, they look on and says, "No, don't do it." And Smoke stabs her. It's like, whoa, it blows their mind. It's like, no, you killed her. We want her on our side. And they start tripping and they start fighting on me. Now, the twins, when they fight, it's funny. Now, most likely in a vampire movie, if my brother gets bit, my brother is more stronger than me. All right, because he's eternal, but Smoke didn't give a fuck. That's my brother. And he tried to bite him, but again, that hoodoo bag. If you don't understand hoodoo, if you don't understand African rituals, I suggest you read a book on it. It's like saying, I'm not comparing it to the Lord's Prayer, but words have power, just like words have power. Certain rituals have power. Certain things I don't mess with unless I know it fully. If I know it fully and if I know how to use it, I'm going to use it to my detriment. So when Stack tried to bite Smoke, he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it because of the hoodoo bag. And they're fighting, and Sammy's doing his best. I forgot to mention him. Sammy is doing his best. He's swinging, and they send him upstairs, and he said, run on home. Just go home. And so he's up there. He tears his leg apart. He tears his leg up, going from the second floor down to the first floor. And it's like, I would say like 12 feet, more like 12 feet, 20 feet tall. So everybody's getting bit. Everybody gets bit in this movie except for Sammy and Smoke. And the twins are fighting. One's infected, the other one's not. Smoke is on top of his brother, getting ready to stab him and say, I'm sorry I didn't protect you. I'm sorry I didn't have the power to protect you. And Stack goes, you always have. And it shoots to, what did I say? Hemrick grabbing. Now, this is the freaky part. But it's in your biblical text. This is in your biblical text. Sidebar. If anybody has read or looked at the Jesus story, in the biblical text, Jesus is fasting 40 days and 40 nights. The devil sees it. The devil takes God, or takes Jesus, or takes Christ rather, up into the mountaintop and has him look and revere through all the towns that were built were there. The devil said, I will give you I will give you everything as far as the eyes can see if you would give your power to me. Paraphrasing, what Christ said was cold. How the hell you gonna give me something that I already own? Powerful. So Remlick catches up to Sammy, who's going to bite Sammy. Sammy ends up saying the Lord's Prayer. Thought that was going to save you. Our Father, Lord in heaven, hallowed be thy name. To his dismay, Riddick says the Lord's Prayer right along with him, along with the other vampires who crept up to him. And they say the Lord's Prayer with him. Our Father, Lord in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Forgive us today our daily prayers. I mean, it was like, wow. And again, it's not working due to the fact that you used your gifts for evil. When you have a godlike talent, but you use it for evil, everything is misplaced. You have to replace it through sackcloth and ashes. In other words, repentance. If you're not repenting and if you're not sincere about repentance, it's not going to work. And this is the reason why he kept doinking them in the water and he was going to bite them. But coming to the rescue was Smoke, stabbed him in the heart. The sun comes up. Thank God. Finally, all the vampires got smoked. All the vampires got smoked, including Remick. Remick's thing is he's all extra with it. Oh, and the flames go straight up into the sky. Whatever. He does one last thing and is like, use your talents for good. Use your talents for good. Just get rid of that damn guitar. And it's a part of him. Because that one night, even though it was bad for the most part, it was good for the most part, but it was a lesson for him at the very end. So Sammy runs off. Like I said, the ending tells you the beginning. He goes to the church. His hands is shaking. claw marks on his face, and of course, Smoke. He takes vengeance. He has nothing now. Annie's gone. His brother's gone. His baby's gone. He has no life. He tries to roll up a cigarette, couldn't even do it. So he gets the Tommy gun along with another gun. I forgot what gun that was. He unlocks the Tommy and he's going to town on them crackers. He goes to town on them crackers. Oh, I wish I was right, but it was a movie. It's a movie. Um, he went out in the blaze of glory himself. Now, like I said, this was a very spiritual movie. It was a very educated movie, all wrapped in one. Had nothing to do with Dusk Till Dawn. In the end, he grows up. Sammy grows up. He's this old man now. He's still playing blues. Still has the marks on his face. Um, and everything's good until the bouncer comes up to him and says, "Yo, you got some people out here who want to hear you play or whatever." I'll paraphrase it. I got to go see it again. And he said, "Well, don't let them in. It ain't gonna bother me none." And of course comes Stack and Mary. Vampirism. You can't see them. They can't. They don't even. They don't even exist because they're a reflection in the mirror. They don't have a reflection in the mirror. Even they're just pure evil. Thus, Stack smells them and says, "You ain't got long now. You little old in the tooth, but you want to continue playing? I got that offer for you." He says, "No, thank you." And of course, Stack, still, mind you, he's not there, but he's normal. Just like Mary. She's normal also, but she's still dangerous. And they said, "Well, you play the blue? Can you? I don't like all that electric stuff, but the organic stuff I still enjoy." And of course, Sammy gets out the old guitar, refurbished, revamped, and starts playing the blues, starts going down old memory lane. And as they leave, he said, I had a good life. That night, when we were in he shares a memory with Stack, and Stack agrees. It's one of those, that one moment Stack agrees with Sammy that 24 hours or whatever that was the best night of his life. And then they leave the joint. I suggest you go see this movie. I suggest y'all go, because this movie is hands down. Now, all the vampire stuff I can, it's whatever. It's old school to me. People were complaining about it. It's not vampires. It's like, you could have saw there wasn't enough vampires. At one moment there wasn't enough vampire stuff in it, and then in the next minute it's like, well, why didn't he eat why didn't the extras in the movie eat the onion that Annie prescribed? I said, they were playing. Where did these extras come from? They were playing cards with Stack. One ear and out the other. I guess if it wasn't a good movie, Rotten Tomatoes wouldn't give this an 89 or a 98. And it wouldn't have made 230 million at the box office. People just want shit to go their way. I mean, if it's not a good movie, I don't want to watch. Well, nigga, don't watch. Just don't watch. But I'm gonna watch it again tonight. I'm gonna watch it again tonight because I want to. If I have my way, I'll fast forward to the scene where Sammy, when he sings that note, it sends shocks down my spine. That's how incredible how I get down with some of my movies. If it hits me in a different, if it hits me different, like it hits everybody else different, like, and if I like it that much, it's like, yo, I will play that scene over and over and over again. Even though, again, I mean, we all know that, he unlocks, time, sending in space or whatever. But like I said, and of course, it has action and has fun. It's sad. It's funny. Ryan Coogler, you're a freaking genius. They're talking about a part 2. No, leave it where it is. We don't want to see Stack and Mary bite a whole bunch of people. Hey, ooh, girl, you missed it. You missed it. Ah, but like I said, I don't want to see a Stack and Mary movie. What would the Stack and Mary movie be? A whole bunch, two vampires that infect the entire world. How would that look? Even though I wouldn't mind Michael B. Jordan in the movie, how would that look? I mean, if it was a sex scene where they was getting down vampiric, I'll probably say, okay, all right, whatever. But I don't want to see. I just don't want to see that. I want to see action. Like, I mean, Smoke's kid is in heaven along with Annie and Smoke. Well, I don't know if Smoke's in heaven. I don't know. The wages of sin, there's a lesson behind all this. The wages of sin is death. So I don't know. I'm not going to confirm or deny if Smoke is in heaven along with Mary. Because Mary, like I said, Mary was the hero in this movie, even though she got bit. She's in heaven with her child. The child is innocent. All children of God are innocent. And if something happens to that baby, they automatically go to the heaven, baby. They automatically go to heaven. I don't know any baby that come out the womb bad. I don't know any. But please, pretty please, if you have not seen it or you just seen it, if you just seen it once, I advise you to please go see it again. Please go see it again. Anybody want to come up and critique it? You can. You got a few minutes. The segregating part. When you have one side of it, one side of the street, you have black businesses, which strive and thrive to this very day in Mississippi, even though it could be more, but I digress. And on the other side of it, you have Asians, handling business. And of course, everyone's having a good time. Everyone's buying product from everyone. The Klan could come by at any time and just F all that up for no reason. Simply because certain white folks just hate themselves. I remember there was a scene in the just real quick. There was a scene in Mississippi Burning, right? There was a scene in Mississippi Burning where I think Mr. Anderson, played by Gene Hackman, was Gene Hackman. May he rest in peace. Good actor. Willem Dafoe, I forgot who he I Mr. Ward. He played Mr. Ward. And Mr. Anderson was reminding Mr. Ward on how jealous and how vicious white folks can be. Because he even said it himself. His father was jealous that a black farmer was doing well for himself. Why do you know what? This is a movie. This is a movie. I'll go into the a rant on why white folks are jealous anyway. I'll go into that in a different time, and probably tomorrow, because I'm doing some. I'm gonna be doing something else tomorrow, but I'm just stating the fact that why in kind of Jesse, Mississippi, whatever city that was, how the Klan can come in a town like that and overnight just destroy it, like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, all over again, right? It reminds you, it should remind black people of what it was and who their ancestors were, or what they revealed, or what they could have became, what it could have become. These should be life lessons. But everybody has their own opinion about this movie. Everybody is, you know, it is what it is. If you like it, go see it. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And thanks for listening to this. We-On-Loc. Going off on this movie. I like this movie. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Let the chips fall where they may. If nobody's coming up, I'm gonna go ahead and end the live. I will be seeing you tomorrow. Tomorrow is open. It's open mic night. People are welcome in, because obviously they have some questions they want to ask me or something about this whole race war thing. It is what it is, kid. So with that being said, peace out, y'all.